Greetings everyone, DonTheCrown here, back with the Berzerker update for the Ascendancy. This is one that I know is a little bit late, but I've been really looking forward to this a lot. Berzerker is like one of my favorite Ascendancies of all time. Champion still is probably #1 in my heart. However, I've had a lot of good times with Berzerker. I still remember like really blasting maps with my Dark Pact Berzerker back in Harbinger League, and that was just really fun. I really do enjoy the glass cannon style of play, and Berzerker has been really traditionally very good for that. However, it did go from being extremely good to being extremely nerfed. So it's very exciting to see that some of these changes are going to bring it back into the front, back into play, and it's no longer be a meme or a joke. So let's take a quick peek at what's going on. So first thing you can notice is that the crab has moved from the Slayer tree over to here. So the crab is kind of like doing like a sideways thing, and that's, you know, just kind of funny. You can definitely tell that they added some different stuff on here. So the first part of the tree I want to talk about is the Blitz part of the tree. So Berzerker's been known for its rage generation for a long time. However, GGG's added a new mechanic to Berzerker for this particular patch called Blitz. So going here to number 2, Flawless Savagery is going to give you 80% increased critical strike chance for attacks, and adds 20 to 30 physical damage to attacks if you've dealt a critical strike recently. Also gives you 30% crit multi. This is basically an insane node. Just by itself, 80% crit, flat damage, if you crit recently, which should be like pretty much all the time, and then crit multi, that's really amazing. And that leads up to Blitz. Now you notice that these 1 and 3 node here also give you attack physical damage and critical strike chance. 30% critical strike and 24% physical damage. And then this Flawless Savagery is giving you an additional 80% chance to crit. So that's 110% crit just from Flawless Savagery. What Blitz does, it gives you 2% more attack speed per Blitz charge, 10% reduced critical strike chance per Blitz charge, and you gain a Blitz charge on critical strike. And I believe these last for like 4 to 5 seconds. And then you have a maximum of 20 Blitz charges. So if you're doing the math, that pretty much means that you're going to get 40% more attack speed at maximum Blitz charges, but you're also going to have minus 200% increased critical strike chance. Now, if you don't really know how increased critical strike chance works, when you're going negative, don't worry. That doesn't mean like if you have negative 100% critical strike chance increased, it's not going to like make you never crit. It just reduces the overall amount. However, since this is like 200% and we're getting 80 and then another 30 right there, that's like only at the most negative 90% crit, which you can easily make up on a lot of different nodes. It's simply just like getting power charges would completely negate all of this negative crit. So that's really cool. 40% more attack speed is a lot. Especially on skills such as like Cyclone, where we just got the reveal for it and it has 300% more attack speed. That's really insane. You're gonna attack so stinking fast. I think this is amazing. There's gonna be a lot of different skills that, especially things that rely on life gain on hit, they're really gonna make this look amazing and do a ton of damage with it. Super excited about Blitz. I think it's great. And the downside, it's like one of the few Ascendancy classes that has any downside, but it's because it has such a big upside. Number 6, Warbringer is very familiar. Pretty much you recover 25% of your life and mana when you use a Warcry. The Warcries are longer. They have a reduced recovery speed. So it says 100% increased cooldown recovery speed. That just means that it just half the cooldown that it normally would. If you've Warcried recently, you and your Nero allies have 10% increased attack speed, and they also have 30% increased damage. This is okay. I don't really necessarily see too many people going for this, mostly because the big nodes are all really good, and there's other nodes that are really amazing. This is still pretty decent. I could see some builds finding some way to work this in to their build. And leading up to that was a 5 node, which gives you Warcry duration and attack physical damage. Going over to Pain Reaver number 8, which is going to have attack physical damage and total recovery per second from Life Leech. You can get 2% attack damage leached as life and mana, 25% increased attack speed if you've been hit recently, and 50% increased maximum total recovery per second from life leech if you've taken a savage hit recently. That's actually really interesting there. Like, the savage hit is definitely something you don't necessarily want to get hit by, but that's a lot of regen, especially because leech has kind of been like dialed back over a long period of time. This could be really stinking good. I don't necessarily feel like, though, with attack-based builds that you really need to go and get attack and attack damage, leech's life and mana right now. The tree is changing, so maybe they will be changing leech, and you'll be like, oh, you definitely need that, but 2% is a lot. Next up, let's skip this and we're just go down here to 14. So 13 is going to give us attack physical damage and attack speed. And then Aspect of Carnage is oldie but goodie. It's going to give you 10% increased damage taken and 40% more damage. Just a flat 40% more damage, with the downside being increased damage taken. I think this is pretty good. If you kind of combine, like, it's kind of very similar to number 4, whereas you're attacking 40% faster and you have, like, you're hitting a little bit less hard. It's like very, very similar. The downside of taking more damage, though, is kind of unfortunate. Definitely need to kind of like build around this and build a little bit more defensively, or just go full glass cannon. You know, anything works, right? Next up, and finally, we're coming up into the Crave the Slaughter and Rage kind of nodes. Berzerker, pretty much when he got reworked, the big problem was Rage. Rage, if you don't know what it does, is, let me zoom in here. You can see that basically what Rage does is it gives you 1% increased attack damage per 1 Rage, 1% increased attack damage per 2 Rage, and then 1% movement speed per 5 Rage, and you can have a maximum range of 50. And so what that would mean is at maximum rage, you have 50% increased attack damage, 25% increased attack speed, and then 10% increased movement speed. In Crave the Slaughter, you just gain 1 rage on hit with attacks, but you can gain no more than once every 0.3 seconds, and you have 1% chance to deal double damage per 4 rage, which means you're about 12% chance to deal double damage when you're at max rage, which is a lot of percent chance to do double damage. The last node, Rite of Ruin, pretty much adds back in the big negative that Rage had before, which was lose 0.1% of your maximum life per second per rage while you are not losing rage. Effects granted for having rage are tripled, and you cannot be stunned while you have at least half rage. That is insane. So this used to be double the rage effect, but this is really, really nuts. So pretty much you go up to 150% attack damage at max rage. You go to 75% attacks. Nah, hold on. 25 times 3 is 75% attack speed. And you get 20% movement speed. 30% movement speed. Sorry, I just can't do math for some reason. That's a lot of freaking damage. So, sorry about that. 150% attack damage, 75% attack speed, and then 30% movement speed. That is a lot of everything, but you'll be losing 5% of your maximum life whenever you're like in the fray gaining rage. However, there's some things that kind of like are interesting here, because it is possible to lose rage even when you're like gaining rage and attacking. You'll be like, well, what are you talking about, Don? Well, fortunately, I was able to get some nice B-roll from Grinding Gear Games here, and this is one of the B-roll things they send over. So this is a Berzerker Cyclone gameplay, and you'll see here that the guy is attacking, spinning around, gaining rage stacks, just like the very angry red man up in the top left. But you notice that when he pops his Q, his rage starts diminishing, even though he's hitting things. And like the rage is still kind of going up and up and up, but the rage is also going down. So this could be possibly a way to allow you to be losing rage while also still gaining rage, to help negate some of that like downside of not of having all the rage. And you'll see like that pretty much what it does when you press his Q right there, makes him bigger. The area effect seems to go up. Rage starts to decline, which would mean that, you know, you wouldn't be taking damage from rage anymore. And then this Q stays off cooldown until the rage is depleted and the effect is dissipated. So I think that's pretty neat. There's a lot of different gameplay options that could potentially work their way in with that. But I think this Rite of Ruin 5% maximum life per second per rage, or 5% maximum life per second overall, is maybe not as big of a deal as a lot of people seem to think. We just got the information about Cyclone. It looks amazing. There's a lot of new things that'll be coming out. New support gems for your weapon, new skills, obviously, like whatever that was. And I'm really excited to see kind of like what the changes are. I know some of my math was freaking terrible in this episode, but let me know if you think I missed anything, and what do you think about Berzerker right now. I think it looks really, really solid, and as long as you're kind of go type of playstyle, it's gonna be really good. Probably not something that you want to do like for bossing necessarily, since it will take a while to kind of ramp up, and there's a lot of like phases where you can't hit anything, so you probably lose your blitz stacks, maybe lose your rage or burn out from your rage, which would be kind of bad. But overall, I think Berzerker looks really, really cool. And yeah, you can catch me in the comments. I'll try to answer some of those, or you can catch me over at twitch.tv/DonTheCrown. Thank you much, guys, and have a good one.